Hello. Hello. So you are here for the relaxing wedding appointment session, aren't you? Wedding planning appointment, I should say. Yeah, go ahead and take a seat. Do you need a drink or anything? You got it with you? Perfect. I don't go anywhere without my pink Stanley full of water. I'm almost always dehydrated because I hate drinking water, but as long as I have it with me, I know I will be sipping on it. So I always bring my own drink too. Okay, so what this appointment will consist of, I have my notes here. I'm just gonna ask you all the rough draft questions to get to know you and get to know your vibe and what you're looking for with this wedding, and all that kind of stuff. And then our future appointments, we will get into more of the actual planning and picking things out and venue selections, all that kind of thing. So right now I'm just seeing what you're into, what you already have planned, what you want, what you like, who you are. So yeah, let's just get to know each other a little bit first, and then we'll dive right in. So let's see right here. Okay. So is there anything that you want me to know before we start? Anything about you or your taste or your vision? Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, we can totally look into that. I have plenty of things to go over. I think there's a hair in my mouth. Oh my gosh, sorry. But yeah, we can absolutely cover that. So a little bit about me. I've been in the wedding planning business for about 7 years now. I started out because ever since I was a little girl, I dreamed of like a big, beautiful princess wedding, because I was raised on Disney movies and I thought I was a princess and I wanted to be one so bad. So I figured like my wedding would be the one day where I actually get to have that experience. So that is what I had wanted for years and years and years, right? And then me and my fiance got engaged, and I was pregnant at the time, actually, and we had already planned to be engaged at a certain point, but I just ended up accidentally getting pregnant before then. Just totally fine. We love our baby girl. But yeah, so basically it wasn't a shotgun wedding because we had already planned to be married at this time, but I was pregnant, so we had to like bump it up. I really wanted a fall wedding, and I would have done all kinds of lovely planning and had plenty of time to, but she was due in the fall, so we had to have a summer wedding, which was just as beautiful. Like, it was different because it was a different season, and I will ask you about your seasons too, of course. But yeah, so and it was the most magical day. I had hardly any time to plan. I didn't know what I was doing. I had hardly any help. We didn't have the budget for like a wedding planner or anything, and I just had to wing it all myself, and I did pretty good, I would say. It was a very small wedding, very personal, very lovely, but honestly one of the most magical days of my life. So no matter what your budget is, we can make it happen, because my first ever wedding I did was like the quickest, simplest like thing ever. So, and also if you want a big bougie wedding, I love planning those because I never got to have that myself, and I don't regret mine at all. If you want something small, you will not regret it, trust me. If you want something big, you will not regret it. I have done hundreds of weddings, all very different ones. I've done like simple classic weddings like myself. I've done big extravagant gay weddings. For one of them, in one of the gay weddings, the ring bearer was a Sphinx cat in a little toy car. So like remote control car. It was the cutest thing ever. That was one of the things that they insisted on, and I was like, I love that idea, let's do it. The cat was very cooperative, which was awesome. So yeah, a little bit about me. Yeah, so well, anyway, that's why I started wedding planning, was because I had always thought I would get to have the big experience of that, but then I didn't for myself. So I love giving it to other people because it is just so fun. It is wonderful. And it is a million times easier when it's not yourself. So, okay, enough chit-chatting. Let's get down to the questions that we have today. So, if you have any questions at any time, just feel free to ask at all. If you don't know an answer, that's totally fine. Like, this is just us, like, getting to know, like, your vibe, basically. Okay, let's see here. First off, can I get your name, please? First, middle, and last. Okay, perfect, beautiful name. And your partner's name, if you're comfortable sharing. Okay. Very nice. And then, when are you thinking of getting married? Like this year, next year, a couple years in the future? What timeline are you thinking? Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, that's very reasonable. Absolutely. Get that written down. Okay, do you have a location or season in mind? And what I mean by that is, do you want to do it more local, or do you want to have like a destination wedding? And also, like, what time of year are you thinking? Okay. Oh, that sounds beautiful. And the season? Yeah. Well, it's good to have your options open. You know, you're never tied down to one thing, and anything we write down on this is just like a rough draft idea. We can absolutely change anything later on, okay? So, is there a special meaning behind the date that you have picked? Or is it just like, just the day that works? Mine was honestly just the day that ended up working, and I love it so much. Okay, so, how long have you been engaged? Okay. See, I have clients that come in and they got engaged the day before sometimes, but they had planned our session like months ahead. Like, they hadn't even gotten engaged yet and were already like planning with me, because they just assumed that he would propose, and he did. So I was like, okay, nice. And then I've had people who are getting married like very, very soon, and they had said the whole time, well, I don't need a wedding planner, I don't need something like that. And then they quickly realized that they do. So yeah. Also, if you hear me out of breath, I am 6 months pregnant. So no, I was not just running a marathon. I just have a baby squishing my lungs. So, okay. And then my last of the like basic intro questions is one that is very personal to me, and I really, really, really want you to think about your answer, okay? Is this your soulmate? Is this person you're marrying your soulmate? Because if you have to think about the answer, or you're not quite sure and your answer isn't immediately yes, I really want you to go home tonight and think about that, okay? Because a wedding is just a day of celebration, but a marriage, the person you are marrying, is tying you down emotionally, legally, financially, like familially, like with your family, in so many ways. So I need you to just be sure that this person that you are marrying is your soulmate, okay? Okay, good. I really want that to be the case. That is, out of all of these things that we're going to talk about today, that is the most important thing to me. I want you to marry your soulmate. I don't want you to marry just for a pretty wedding, or just because they have money. I need them to be your person, because in the long run, that is just what you need, okay? So, let's see. Okay, we got these ones all done. Let's go to your theme/vibe. Have you thought about a theme or aesthetic? Like, give me the rough, like, any random little things that you like or don't like. Just, like, let me hear all of it. Just a complete ramble. I'll write down anything and everything. Yes, sirree. Okay. Alright. Okay. Can you repeat the last part? Okay, gotcha. I have a ruptured eardrum. I have for years, so my hearing's not the best. Okay, perfect. And then I have, like, some ideas are traditional, modern, whimsical, or unique. Which of those four are you leaning more towards? Traditional, modern, whimsical, or unique, are you thinking? Okay, nice. And if you want to combine any of those or anything, or if you have a whole different separate idea, these are just the four most, like, basic that people tend to gravitate towards. So they're the easiest to just get to know someone to see which one they prefer. Okay. What colors are you drawn to? Like, not necessarily what colors do you want for your overall theme, but like what colors in general are you drawn to, so that we know like what to incorporate, what not to incorporate. Okay? 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 Beautiful. Those would be lovely together or separate, honestly. Those are very good color schemes. And do you have a flower or a symbol or something like special that you'd like to include? I know some people, they have like a matching tattoo with a person, like either with their family member who passed away or with their significant other that they're getting married to, and they really want to incorporate that specific flower. A lot of times it's a flower because people get flower tattoos and stuff, but it's not always. There's like, I mean, there's been several different very unique, very beautiful ones, and I really love that idea. So if you have anything like a special symbol to you that means something to you or to someone that you love, yeah, okay, and that's just another one to think about. Like, we don't have to answer all of these, you know, some of these are just, you know, random questions. Okay, is there a specific mood you want the guests to feel? Okay, that's a pretty simple one. Okay, and then we have the budgeting and planning style section. There's a couple questions on your budget because it's not the fun part to talk about, but it is a very necessary part to talk about because, you know, we need to know what you're willing to spend, what you're not willing to spend, what you want to spend more on. You know, if weddings were free, I mean, that would be a dream come true, and it would make my life so much easier because I want to give you everything that you want, but there is a price point that stands in the way. So let's just like cover that first. So are you working with a specific budget in mind so far? Or do you want to like, we can look at the things that you like and the venues that you like and the places, and then come up with a rough estimate later on? Okay, either way. Okay, do you have a max and a minimum limit? Okay, that is absolutely doable. Again, I've done extravagant weddings. I've done the most, like, you would not believe how little they spent, and it was the prettiest wedding you've ever seen. And some of them even invite me to their weddings, which you do not have to at all, but it is very fun to get to go and just like watch the magic happen and like know the story behind every little piece. That just means so much to me. Okay, do you plan to DIY some or mainly just hire vendors? So what some people like to do is they'll buy their own flowers, right? And they'll create their own bouquets and pick out their own ribbons and flower types and like how they want to decorate them. Or some people would rather just pay someone to do all of that. So it's completely up to you. Like, what do you think? Okay. Very nice. Okay. So are you thinking of a more intimate setting or a bigger group? And like, what's your rough number of people? Do you know that yet? Or do we need to calculate that? Doesn't matter. Okay. All right. We can just totally look into that one later. That is not a big deal at all. Okay. Do you have anything in mind that you would like to splurge on? Anything that you would like to save on? Like, it could, I mean, like, literally it could be anything. Because, like, for me personally, I wanted a beautiful wedding cake. I was willing to splurge on that. And a beautiful wedding dress. I was willing to splurge on that. But I was pregnant, so it was hard to find one that actually fit. And then things that you want to save on. I personally had wanted to save on as much as I could, besides those two things, basically. So, what are you thinking for that one? Okay. Nice, nice. I didn't even think of that. That's a very good point. Absolutely. I might use that in the future. That's a really good one. I like that. Okay. And then for the venue/ceremony, have you found a venue yet? Okay, perfect. Hey, the more for me to do, the more I love. I'm not a control freak, but I do love getting to like look into everything. And I might have like, you know, I might do several weddings at one time because people get married, you know, like really close together. And I have a lot of clients at once, or like right now, you're my main focus. So I would love to just look at all the venues that you have in mind because it helps me in the long run for when I have other clients who are looking at the same ones, for me to just know. Plus, I already know several, and I have a lot of friends in the industry who are venue owners. I have 2 friends who are photographers. I have a like distant cousin, kind of. She's kind of related to me, who does like bridal stuff and like dresses and whatnot and boutique things. So yeah, if you ever need any of that type of stuff, we can absolutely look at the people that I know already. So will the ceremony and reception be at the same place, do you think? And if you don't have a place in mind yet, that's totally fine. Some places do, some places don't. But like, if you had to choose, like, would you prefer it to be together, or would you rather go somewhere fancier, or like go somewhere else afterwards? Okay, yeah, absolutely. And that could change, you know, like you might find the perfect venue and they don't have a reception area after, and we'll have to find another one. That is totally fine. But either way, you know. And then, are you thinking more of an indoor or an outdoor wedding? Okay. Yeah, that is very simple. Most people have in mind that one. That's one of the easiest questions that we have, so that's good. Are you looking for more of a religious type of wedding, like, or spiritual, or more personal, or like casual? Like, what's your vibe? We can absolutely incorporate any religion that you have, any little like spiritual things that you like or really value. Okay, yeah. And it can be a mixture of things if you and your partner have differing, like, you know, styles of that type of thing. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, and last question on this page is, do you have an officiant in mind? Okay, very nice. See, that one's normally a really quick question too, because they either know someone who is ordained or like legally ordained online. Fun fact, I am an ordained minister, legally. It's just a really quick, easy thing to fill out online. If you have a friend who you'd like to officiate you, you can too. They just have to pay, like, I think it's like $20 or something, and get the paper in the mail. But yeah, let's see here. So for attire and glam, have you chosen your dress or outfit yet? Okay, very nice. Do you know like the type of style that you want your outfit to be? Okay. And this is another thing like that we can spend forever looking at, because this is one of the most important things, in my opinion, is the outfit, you know, like what you wear on the big day. So yes, we will put a lot of love and care into that one. Okay. Do you know what your partner wants to wear? Okay, very nice. And next time, if they want to come in too, I can chat with both of you guys and get that all figured out too. Very nice. Okay. Are you wanting to do your own makeup, or have a makeup artist, or no makeup at all? Okay, absolutely. Very nice. And will you have bridesmaids and groomsmen, or one or the other, or none, or what are you thinking? Okay, because like, if you have any like really close friends, they would probably love to do that, and if not, that's totally fine. And now we have for decor and details. Do you have a vision for your flowers and centerpieces? Okay. Yeah, we can look at that one later. That's like a, you know, big one too. What are you thinking about for cake? Are you thinking like small or big? And like how many tiers? Chocolate, vanilla? Like, what's your cake like favorite types? Oh, that sounds so good. One of my biggest pregnancy cravings this pregnancy has been cake. I'm serious. So give me all the cake advice and tips and things that you like, and I will write that down and probably order it later for myself. Okay. Well, that sounds like a beautiful and delicious cake. Okay. Do you want to serve food and desserts, or are you just gonna do the cake, or what do you have in mind? Okay, yeah. Very nice. I feel like I just keep saying very nice, but like, you have such good ideas, and I am just here for what you want. Whatever you give me to work with, I can make like, I want to make your dream come true. And this is like genuinely exciting me, like all these ideas that you're giving me. Okay. Do you want candles, fairy lights, greenery, any of those things? Because I know several businesses that I can get great deals on for those things. Yeah, and I can show you them later. We can look at those. Absolutely. What kind of table settings are you drawn to? I think what I meant when I wrote that down was like cutlery. I'm not quite sure. Like, yeah. So like plastic plates and forks, or like real ones, or caterers, whatever they bring. Yeah, we can just look into that one later. Absolutely. Is there anything meaningful you want on the tables? Some people choose to do like pictures of them and their spouse, or like oh, there's a ton of different options. At mine we had these little tiny little wooden hearts that were they had the word love on them in like white paint, and it was really cute. They were just like scattered along all the tables, and people got to take them home and stuff. Yeah, just any little thing like that. Plus, Pinterest is your best friend, trust me. Okay, so what type for music, what type of music are you thinking? Just like the general vibe, like romantic, or emotional, or cozy, or upbeat and funny and celebratory? Any of those sound good? Okay, yeah. All right. Are you going to have a DJ, do you think? Okay. Some people do, some people don't. It's completely up to you. Are you going to have a dance floor? Okay, yeah. See, that also depends on the venue, place that you choose, and like where your reception is. It depends on the space and stuff, so we will definitely look at that later to decide. Do you guys have a first dance song in mind? Are you still going to talk about that? Oh, okay. Okay. I will write that down. Very nice. Okay. And then a couple wrap-up questions. Are you writing your own vows? And there's no shade, no hate. If you're not, it is a very stressful thing. But when done right, it is incredibly beautiful. Yeah, entirely up to you guys. You guys can decide on that later if you want to talk about that. So for this one, I love this question. What are you most excited about for this wedding? Okay. That is such a sweet answer. Oh my goodness, yeah? Oh, that is so pure. I love that. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then this one's not a very fun question, but what are you nervous about? And it's totally fine to be honest with me. If I know your strengths, I can play on them, and if I know the things that make you nervous, I can like take the reins on that more, and because I want you to have the most stress-free wedding possible. Okay, yeah. See, and that is very common. Lots of people are worried about that. Absolutely. Yeah. And see, all of this is something that I can absolutely help you with every single step of the way. I want you to know that, okay? Yes. Alright, and then, do you want to send me any inspiration pics after this? I always give my clients my phone number, and you can call or text me at any time if you have any questions. If you're having a mental breakdown at 2 in the morning and need someone to cry to because you're looking at Amazon or Pinterest and you lose your mind, we have all been there. I've taken so many calls. I am practically a licensed therapist at this point. Not actually, but I want to be your best friend in this. Okay, that is my job. This is what I am here for. Okay. Yeah, you can send me any pictures of ideas that you like. You can send me like screenshots of things that you think are cute, or even things that you think are really ugly that you see on TikTok and you're like, I would never do that. Let me know, girl. Let me know, boy. Let me know. Okay. Would you like help building a timeline and a checklist? Absolutely. I was the same way. I wanted all the help I could get. And how would you like to feel on your wedding day? I feel like that's the most common answer. I feel like everybody gives that answer because why would you not want to feel like that? You know? It is your special day. Okay, so I think that's all I have for today. I have all I need to get started now. This is the fun point. This is like, I get to go home and like assess every answer that you wrote and make the little timelines and charts and checklists of all the things that we need, the list of venues for you to look at, and dresses and outfits and decor, the music, everything. You leave it all up to me. I am the planner here, but I want you to be in control. So I want to look up all the things and give you all the options you could dream of. And yeah, so okay. I am just here to make sure that you have your dream wedding, hon. Yeah, and like I said, you can call me at any time, and I mean that, okay? And if I don't answer, it's probably because I'm taking a big long nap, okay? But as soon as I wake up, I will call you back. Okay, so yeah, I cannot wait for our next session. Let me get this put up here. Okay, yes, so you better call me at any time, okay? And even your partner can call if they have any questions too. Yeah, and our next session I know isn't just like, is it next week for, yeah, I think next week, okay? So, goodbye for now, sweetheart. I hope you have the best wedding, and I'm here to make that happen, okay? Alright, sounds good. See ya.